So as you just heard, congressional Democrats want their Republican colleagues to negotiate with them largely about health care. And joining us to talk more about this impasse is Austin Democrat Congressman Lloyd Doggett. Congressman, we thank you so much for taking some time to talk with us.
Always good to be with you, Ashley. This is such an important issue.
It really is. Obviously, anytime the government shuts down, it is critical. Talk to us about what Democrats really want to see at the negotiation table.
We want protection from a totally untrustworthy president of healthcare, knowing that over 30,000 Central Texans and millions across the country will lose their access to a family physician if we don't stand up to the Republicans on health care. And so we want the government open. We want reasonable negotiations to seek a common ground to protect the health care that is so vital to people as we go forward. And if we don't get that, some Central Texans will begin getting notices in the mail that their premiums are going up by 75%. And many people simply will not be able to afford that.
I have to ask you, is this the best venue for that fight? Obviously, the cuts that you're talking about were part of the budget spending bill, the big, beautiful bill, as it is called. And this is the impact of that. But is this shutting down the government the best venue to have that argument?
Well, the best venue would have been when, in the middle of the night, in the consideration of the big, ugly bill, I offered the amendment to assure that these tax credits were available to keep insurance policies affordable, and Republicans rejected that as they did all other Democratic bills. This is the one opportunity we have to focus attention on this and to have Republicans realize that if they want what they are urging, they need to consider the needs of families to be able to get access to a family physician and join us in finding a solution. I think many Republican members know this is not a partisan issue. It affects families of all political stripes and none. But as usual, they feel they've got to do whatever Donald Trump tells them to do. And that's what's happening here. It's a negotiation with the president who, as you just saw in your feed from Washington, engages in racist probes and is not negotiating in good faith. And we have to have some protection for the future that we don't agree to something that he then immediately abandons.
I want to talk about what is in the bill. Are there any type of provisions in the current spending bill, the one that, that's being negotiated that has failed, that you all as Democrats do agree to, that you do think are helpful?
Well, I think there are some provisions. This is the overall operation of the government, almost all of the government. So yes, there are some features, but overall, it's not just what's happening here on health care that we're concerned about, but tremendous cuts that this administration has made that affect research, where they've gone in and even on appropriations approved by a Republican Congress have had dramatic cuts right here at the University of Texas and elsewhere, interfering with studies that are going on for research on cancer, on Alzheimer's, and other dread diseases. So there's much there that needs attention, but we're saying at least, even though there are many things in your appropriation bills that we think are defective and inadequate, at least do something on health care for Central Texans and all Americans so they're not left in a crisis.
What about the comments that the president has made about potentially firing some of these workers who have been furloughed? That has to be concerning.
Well, you have to be concerned as to whether there are any other employees for him to fire after the outrageous slashing that he and Elon Musk did of our federal workforce early in the year, for our air traffic concerns with the FAA, to health care, to foreign assistance, all of these programs that they cut. He can do that whether there's a government shutdown or not. So it's an empty threat, just like his empty claim that we are seeking to provide health insurance to those who are in our country without proper documentation. That's just one of his lies to avoid dealing with the crisis he's creating.
Hopeful this will end soon, Congressman.
I do too, but I'll just say in closing, this is not the most important thing, as important as it is that happened in Washington yesterday. My concern is the president calling in 800 top military leaders from around the globe and telling them they should be focused on the threat within and talking about using American cities as a training ground for the misuse of military force. He said he wanted his military to look more like Hitler's. Well, this is a step in that direction. And the patriots who serve in our military shouldn't have to choose between loyalty to him and loyalty to our Constitution and democratic system.
Yeah, also a very important story that we are certainly watching and following. Congressman Lloyd Doggett, we thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Thanks a lot.